15 Things You Didn't Know About Apple. Welcome to Premier 10, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. We take a look at some of the less known facts about the most profitable company in the world, Apple Incorporated. Apple is worth $2 trillion. First American company to hit that milestone. A company that has not only changed the face of technology, but also our language, activities, the way we think and live our lives. It is one of the most famous names and most recognizable logos on the planet. But there are a lot of things you might have missed on, mostly because the company isn't proud of or simply didn't get that much coverage compared to the shiny products they sell now. Let's take a look at 15 things you might not know about Apple. Number 1. It was founded on April Fool's Day. Apple was founded as the Apple Computer Company on April 1, 1976. It didn't actually become Apple Computer Inc. until almost a year later, on January 3rd of 1977. But this date has long been accepted as the birth of Apple. Number 2. Apple actually had 3 founders. We all know that Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak put together the first Apple computer in the garage of Woz's parents' home in Cupertino, California. But few know there was a third guy working along with them. Ronald Wayne, a friend of Jobs from when they both worked at Atari, and he agreed to help start Apple with him. Not only did he develop the computer, he wrote its manual and even came up with Apple's first logo. When he realized Apple might not make it, he sold his shares to Steve's for $800. A real bad move. That share would be worth something like $40 billion now. Wayne now sells stamps and coins in a Nevada trailer park. Number 3. Apple was started with a calculator. To start the company, Jobs sold his VW microbus and Woz sold his calculator. That might sound pretty one-sided now, but the fact is the scientific calculator was worth more than a van back then. Woz managed to sell it for $500. That's around $2,000 in today's money. Number 4. Steve Jobs is the son of a Syrian immigrant. Few people know that Steve Jobs was adopted. Even fewer know that his father was Abdul Fattah John Deeb, a Syrian immigrant that got Joanne Schreiber pregnant in college. Due to parental issues, the baby was put up for adoption, and although the mother insisted the baby be adopted by educated people, young Steve was adopted by Paul Jobs, a high school dropout, and Clara Jobs, who hadn't finished college. John Dolly, who manages a Nevada casino, never met his son, but the two did exchange brief emails just before Jobs died. Number 5. In 1986, Apple started a clothing line. You might have never heard of it because the project failed completely. They called it the Apple Collection, and the idea is far from the modern, sleek, minimalist, and timeless design that makes Apple products the sensation they are today. It's hard to picture turtleneck Steve wearing a tracksuit and rainbow-colored Apple logo. Number 6. Apple's iPad's retina display is actually manufactured by Samsung. Apple found out that outsourcing their retina display to Samsung is actually cheaper than creating the infrastructure to build it themselves. Also, it's an incredibly lucrative contract that gives Apple slight leverage with Samsung. Number 7. Steve Jobs invented the computer mouse by stealing it from Xerox. Back in the early computer years, in order to click on something, you had to insert rows of code that would tell the cursor where on a grid it should go and what action you wanted it to perform. While visiting Xerox's research center, he noticed a 3-button mouse that would have been perfect for his Apple interface. The only problem is that it cost $300. So he had the team drop one of the buttons, and the cost came down to $15. Number 8. Jonathan Ive has worn the same t-shirt in every Apple product intro video since 2000. Same as Steve, Apple's former lead designer wears the same type of clothing in all official releases they come in. Lovely dad shades of earth tones, and they are made by a company called G-Star. Number 9. The Mac battery is bulletproof. In case of horrific events, the battery inside your MacBook could potentially save your life, because it was made to be bulletproof. Number 10. Smoking near Apple computers voids the warranty. Be careful with your cigarettes. Apple has refused to repair the computers of consumers that were found to have tar residue from cigs, declaring it a biohazard to its employees. Number 11. Bill Gates stole Windows from Apple. In a similar fashion, how Mark Zuckerberg stole the Facebook idea from the Winklevoss twins, Steve Jobs tasked Bill Gates with creating an operating system for Apple. After developing the product, Bill saw its standalone potential and decided to never deliver it, and started selling Windows on his own. Number 12. Steve Jobs forced Microsoft to save Apple Incorporated. In 1997, Apple was running out of cash. Their legal battles with Microsoft were going on for so long and costing them a ton of money, so Steve offered Bill Gates the possibility of a settlement of $150 million for non-voting shares at Apple. Microsoft promised to support Microsoft Office for the Mac for 5 years, while Apple agreed to make Internet Explorer the default web browser on the Mac, but not the only one. Number 13. The most expensive iPhone in the world costs $15 million. At Premier 10, we've covered almost all the most expensive items in the world. One of them is this $15 million iPhone covered in gold and diamond. If you want to learn more about the most expensive products, we will link them in the description. Number 14. Apple once had more operating cash in the bank than the US Treasury. In 2011, Apple Inc. boosted cash reserves by $75.88 billion, while Washington had an operating balance of $73.77 billion. Number 15. In the last years of his life, Steve Jobs declared war on Google. Steve said, and I quote, "I will spend my last dying breath to right this wrong. I'm going to destroy Android because it's a stolen product. I'm willing to go thermonuclear war on this. They are scared to death because they know they are guilty." In a last attempt to crumble Google's advertising empire, Apple may have allowed to have app blockers pre-installed on all their devices so you get a better experience while browsing the internet. This will be Steve's final blow towards Google if it were ever to be put in place. Because you stuck with us to the end, we've got some fun facts for you. Did you know that the I in iMac originally stood for Internet? Of course, now the letter leans more towards imagination or innovation, but this was true once upon a time. There are a lot of symbols that Steve Jobs has sneaked in over the years, and one of them is this gem. The iPhone commercials, the time on the phone is always 9:41 in the morning. It was curious, but never something we cared to investigate. But now the truth comes out. The first iPhone was unveiled on January 9th, 2007. Of course, at 9:41 a.m. This ends today's video, and we hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. So how would you react if you sold your stocks and years later you'd find out it was worth billions? Be sure to let us know. And with that, we'll see you next time